all of the examples that we've done so far, the textbook has always given us a graph. But another set of examples that you're going to be asked to graph during the year are ones that come just from an equation. So what we're going to do in this example, we'll call it example 5, is we're going to graph y equals three times the negative 1/2 x cubed. So no original graph is given. What you have to be able to do is you have to be able to say, I recognize the parent graph that's here. The base graph that we would start with is an x cubed graph. So off to the side, I'm going to quickly just say I know from the activity that we did that an x cubed graph has a point here, 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 and here. And this is the shape of my x cubed graph. Key points, 0, 0 is also a key point, -1, -1. And so, if that's my graph to start with, I can now look at my equation and say, what's different compared to the regular x cubed graph? So my x cubed graph, that has the x in the cube. What's different here is I have a 3 out in front and a -1/2 inside. That 3 out in front, that's going to be a vertical stretch because it's outside. The negative and the half, that's going to be a horizontal reflection and a horizontal stretch. These will multiply my x values by -2. This will multiply my y values by 3. So I can take some of my original points and apply those transformations to it. So by being able to draw this graph of x cubed, I now made it like one of the textbook questions which gave us a graph to start with. I can now take those points, here I'll write them in green because they're on my green graph, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and say what happens to those points if I multiply my y values by 3 and my x values by -2. Well, the first point is going to change to 2, 3. Second one is going to stay at 0, 0. And the last one is going to become -2. Oops, this was a -1 here, sorry. So the first point actually changes to 2, -3. And the last point changes to -2, 3. So now off to the side here, I'll draw my new graph. I know that it has 0, 0, 2, -3. And notice I have to label a point because just drawing the dash marks on the axes does not guarantee that we're going by 1. And we also have -2, +3. So our new graph looks like this.